the video here. So if you need to see the video portion of today's class, you will be able to simply, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I never presented my slides, which is silly of me. Here we go. You will be able to see this video after the fact, after I get the share permission for it when everything is done. Your attendance is being counted by that sign-in sheet. So you'll see that at the top of the screen. If you're just joining us right now, please go to the top of the chat, click the sign in, and then get yourself a copy of these sheets. That'll be a reference for you as we go through today's lesson. So today is about how to Canva. And it's a little bit, I know there's a couple of other people presenting. I don't think we have, but we have had in the past people who actually work at Canva come and present to us. So this is a little bit different because it's some of the specific ways that I use Canva and some of the kind of design features that I've found to be very useful. And if you know me at all, you're going to wonder, is there going to be some weird way that this guy's going to work spreadsheets into his presentation? And indeed there is. I do not disappoint. So if you want to be cool like me and use Canva with spreadsheets, we're going to get to that later too. But if you're at the very beginning and you've never used Canva before, what is it? It is a cloud-based graphic design program. What makes that super cool is that in the past, if you've done any graphic design in your life, you know that hosting all of those files on one hard drive, they fill up really quickly, and all the assets that you need, and all of the, by assets, I mean the images, the font and all that stuff, they really gum up space on your hard drive. The cool thing about Canva is all of that is hosted on the site. So a lot of the stuff that we're going to be able to use today, you don't have to keep the bulky files around, and you can have your projects and be working on them. And cloud-based apps, of course, save things along progress. Again, if you've had experience using design suites like Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator in the past, and your computer wasn't quite up to snuff because you work in education and you've had the whole thing crash before you remembered to save, that pain is now gone for you. Of course, Canva isn't quite as feature rich as programs like Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator, but it's pretty streamlined to help you do the stuff that you want to do. So that's what I'm really excited to share with you today. It also is a licensed app from Salinas Union High School District, so we do pay some money to be able to access this app at the level that we do. So it's worth it for you to learn how to get your money's worth on what we do have. So if you've never been to Canva before, you're going to go through the whole sign into Canva system. You've probably done this a few times before if you're not brand new to our district, but let's go ahead and click the link here that takes us to Canva. And I'm signed in automatically because I've been on Canva recently, quite recently. And I'm just going to go to, I have a couple of different classes that I've been added to, and mine is Stephen Elliott's class. However, you don't need to be part of a class to participate in this activity. We are going to use the website today. So if you are here today, I want you to click on that link. I want you to go into Canva and I want you to do something with me. We're going to make teacher logos. Now, the easy way to do this is to go into the search bar here and then type logo and search. They're going to see these are designs that I've made, but then there's all these other designs that look kind of interesting, right? You may even want to go with, how about picking something that you like and including it in the search? So I like video games. So I'm going to write video games logo, see what comes up. Okay, there's some images right here. I'm not quite seeing what I want, but I can take something and work with it. So I kind of like this. I'll be changing some things around. So I'm going to click on this one, and it's going to ask me if I want to customize this template. So I will click the purple button that says customize. And the first thing that I want to do is, to me, a logo is square shaped. So I want to change that using this button up here that says resize. And I'm going to search square. Let's see, square. Actually, let me see if I can search logo. Oh yeah, there we go. So going to say animated logo because mine has animations on it, but you can actually take those off. Okay, and look, it's showing me a square version. I'm going to press copy and resize. And Caitlin, so our district does pay for the premium version of Canva. I believe it's Canva for Education. If you sign in with your Google account through Salinas Union High School District, you should be able to get that. Here we go. You may have to verify your account for education as well. That's another option. I'm going to go ahead and add in some stuff here. And I'm gonna get rid of all these animations because I don't really want the animations. I want it to be a static logo. I'm gonna go into the animation setting and clear animations. All right, so that's just some setup that I did for myself. You may have found a logo that you like as it is, and we need to add some things in. So going back to my slides, we're gonna do a little challenge. Find a logo that you like, that's got some stuff that you like, put your name in it, put a thing that you might say or a quote that you might say or some relevant images about you. Maybe you could even add text that says the subject that you teach. And this could be something that you could use. So I'm going into my little document here. So I'm doing this, but please follow along with me because it's no fun if I do this by myself. Okay, so gamer channel, I'm gonna write, instead of gamer channel, it's gonna be Mr. Elliott. And look, it's curved text, so it automatically curves back. I like that. I'm gonna leave it like that. Mr. Elliott and LPMS Technology, or I'll just use my job title, LPMS Ed Tech. So already it's starting to look like something that's me. If I want to resize something, I can just click on it and drag it open. I'm gonna make this a big game controller poking up right there. All right, I like that. I want to add something that's got me to it too. So I have the Bitmoji. I don't think this is going to show up. Yeah, it's not going to show up on the window that I have as soon as I log in. That's going to give me access to my Bitmojis, and I'm going to add my own little character to it. How about me as a, did it go in? Might take a second. I'm working on a small window because I'm trying to get my my computer to have two windows. Here we go. Okay, that's very interesting. For some reason, it's not working that way, so I'm gonna just copy and there we go. All right, there's me. I'm a little watermelon man. Let me put this behind. So I'm gonna actually I'm gonna draw a box around all this stuff right here, and I'm going to press Control and whoops, nope, not that. I'm gonna press Shift and I'm gonna click off the things I don't want. And I'm just gonna drag this down a little bit so it's in the middle. Cool. And then over here, I'm gonna click on Position. I'm gonna send my little watermelon person to the back. Oh, that covered my face. I don't want that. Gotta preserve the face. I think I needed to make this controller a little bit smaller. So playing around with what you've got, you can find some interesting ways to represent yourself. I'm gonna add a text box here that's got my quote, and that's gonna be it for my, I think that these little chevron shapes are a little bit in the way. So I'm gonna add a piece of text, and I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna use this one that says game on, and I'm gonna say a quote, let's play with data. That's something I would say, but I need to make this text smaller. Let me make it maybe 32, that'll work. A little bit smaller. I can drag it smaller with the tools here. Okay, and then I'm gonna move this up to the top and center it, but I want it to be curved. So let me go over to text effects and I see it, curve. And from there on the left-hand side, just a little bit of a menu here. I'm gonna click and let's make it a little bit that way. And I think I need to make the text a little bit bigger. So I'm making a little more. Okay. Now it's feeling a little bit busy, so I'm gonna get rid of some stuff that I don't love here. I'm going to actually get rid of that triangle shape. I think it's too much stuff. I want to simplify my design a little bit. Okay. Let's even take this background and I'm going to do, it's actually a video. So I'm going to detach this video from the background. You can put a video in the background of your logo, which is kind of cool, but I don't want that. It's too much. let's change the background color using what's back here, and we'll make it, if you notice here on the left-hand side where it says document colors, it picks the colors that are already in the document, which is kind of cool. So we can play around with a couple of these. You know what? I like that one. So this is going to be my circle, a little bit bigger. Go back into my text effects. Let's change the curve a little bit more. And you play with things just like you can play with data, and create what works for you. And as I find the specific place I want it to work, I notice that I get a really cool snapping effect where I can line things up so that they match, which is awesome. And that's an additional way that I can make sure that everything looks nice. Okay. And I want to center this. So I'm just going to click here with everything selected, move it until it centers for me. All right. So I guess it's a little bit busy, but I think that I'm done here. This is my logo. I'm curious what else you guys have got. And one thing that I would love to encourage you to do, and we've got maybe another 3 or 4 minutes for this. I'm hoping that you all have had a chance to find a template to play around with. And if you're just partway done, that's okay. But what I'm going to have you do, if you are done and you don't mind sharing, I've got a Google Drive link, and you're going to just drop your file into this spot. And if you want to see some results from the summer I did in 2023 last year, or one that I did with my students, because you could totally do a project like this with your students as a sort of get to know you. You could see the kind of stuff that they came up with. Oops, let me close this link right here. Here's how you download something that you've made. Press the share button, all right? And I'm going to click download. It's suggesting a PNG, and there's nothing wrong with a PNG. Sometimes I prefer a JPEG, but both of those can be uploaded into a Google Drive. So I'm just going to keep it on PNG. If I have no background there, I can make it a transparent background, which is kind of cool. But I do have a color back there, so that won't work. I'm going to press download. All right. And that is, I am currently on my personal MacBook because my microphone on my Chromebook is not working. So this is going to go into my documents, but it would probably go in your downloads if you've got your Chromebook with you today. And I'm going to go grab that. I'm going to put it in Google Drive. File upload and documents. There it is. All right. So my logo is now in this folder. And if you feel confident and comfortable sharing the one that you made, I would love to see it. Go ahead and send that to me using the Google Drive link that we have on slide number 6. The link is right there. Let me just check in. Are we doing okay? Do we need a minute more? All right, if you're ready to move on, give me a thumbs up with the reacts. If we need a minute, okay, a minute. I'm gonna pause. I got a raised hand. Is that a thumbs up or a raised hand? If you've got a question, go ahead, unmute or hand me a message in the chat. Right. So while we're waiting, great. Just a note that the first time you use a program like this, it can be overwhelming. As you get used to it, you'll find yourself being able to make a poster in 5 minutes or put together a design super quick. So I do kind of move fast, and it's been a while since I've taught this one, so I apologize if I go too fast. But it's something that you will also learn how to do really well. Do we have any shareable? Oh, here we go. Hardin Music Department. I love that. That's awesome. And it's probably pretty easy to do. If there's any other ones, we'll come back to it. If there's anybody who would like to share and it's just taking them a minute, that's totally fine. And if you kind of came in late or you passed on that activity, I want to remind you that Canva does more than just logos and graphics. We can do a lot of stuff that we normally do with like Google Sheets, maybe not Google Sheets, but like Google Drive files like slides and Google Docs and things like that. Canva has templates for all of this stuff here and even more. But you can create handouts, documents, social media posts, posters, business cards, certificates. Anyone who's looking for a replacement for Jamboard, because Jamboard is going away. Digital whiteboards are pretty cool. You can find all of these on the homepage for Canva. When you log in, you can see all of these options here. So if you're done with this logo activity, go ahead and have a look around at what templates are available. And I'm going to give a pause here while you look it up, and please let us know in the chat what you're looking at. So I'm gonna leave it for another 3-4 minutes. Let you look around, what's there, click on things, play with things, see what you've got. Okay, I gotta share from James. All right, so James, with the way that you've shared your design, it doesn't give me view permissions. So what I'm seeing when I log in, you can see right here, and I can show you how to fix that if you'd like to share it in that way. The other thing you can do is download it and put it into the Google Drive. But if I've got a design, like for example, let me go to my projects. Here we go. Okay, so if I were to go to my design, if I wanted to invite someone to look at it on Canva as opposed to dropping it in, like downloading it as a file, I would go to share, and the collaboration link should be anyone with the link, unless of course I have my students added into a class, which is something that I'm not going to get into in this training because that's not the way that I use Canva. But if I click to anyone with the link, I don't want can edit, I want can view, because I don't want you to change my settings. I can copy that link, and that's something that everyone should be able to see. So if you're wanting to share a link, just make sure you set permissions just like Google Drive so that people can actually view it. And if you wanted to build on what I made, you can make a copy of a design that's shared with you. Estella, we've got, for my Bitmoji, what I did was I actually downloaded the Chrome extension for Bitmoji into Google Chrome. But if you have Bitmoji on your phone and you want to send one to yourself via email, you could do that too. That's another way that you could use a Bitmoji, and you can just copy paste like any other image file. I see some people click that link so you can see the file that I have. And again, if you wanted to prove it, you can go into the file menu and you could say, make a copy, and then you'd be able to edit that copy. So if you made a template for your students, you could do that here too. All right. So another question you may get, it's kind of fun to play around with this stuff, but you may wonder, and this is kind of my personal philosophy about why I use things like Canva and other design programs like Adobe Express is another great one. Why does it matter that we make a pretty thing as opposed to that we just make a handout or we make a document? And a couple of things we need to know is we're working with different subgroups like our ELs and our SWDs, and it's important to remember that better design is easier to understand. Also, when something looks nice, kids will probably spend a little more time looking at it. So if it's a large block of text, it can be kind of upsetting and stressful to have to figure out information from it. However, a well-designed and simple image or a poster or instructions for an activity can give you a chance to have the students put their eyes on it for longer, and that helps them understand. And also, when you get into kind of cognitive psychology and cognitive load theory, when you make something in a design, if it has too much busyness and too many details or has really big, long blocks of text, the students put some of their thinking energy into understanding what you've made, and then that thinking energy is depleted when it comes to doing your activity. So I do believe that we should make nice things, pretty things, well-designed things in order to make the workflow in our classrooms nice and smooth and help students get to work right away and not be stressed out about what am I supposed to do here. So there's a lot of places where you could use a program like Canva where the design is kind of already set up for you and you just got to drop in the parts that's relevant to you to make things that are nice for your classroom. All right, so that's my soapbox moment for you all. It also, if you're making something that looks really good, the students understand that they have to make something that looks really good for their projects with you. so you don't get those Google slideshows that are just plain text in Times New Roman 11-point font, no images. You can really build up and help the kids understand what they're capable of using. And like I said before, students can use it too. One thing I actually did with those templates for the logos, I did this with my students, and then I bought some printable vinyl and I actually printed stickers of the logos the students made and I gave it to them. So they got really excited about that. And some students even designed other things later. And they're like, hey, Mr. Elliott, can you print this sticker for me that I made? So it was a great motivating factor for them. I was like, yeah, if you retake that test that you failed and you pass it, then I'll print some stickers for you. So that there's a lot of ways that you can use this. What we're going to do now is we're going to try and play with some of the more advanced features of Canva, and you can use the template that you made. I'm just checking to see, do we have, okay, we've got a couple more. We've got one more. We've got, thank you, Suzanne, for that lovely logo. Very fancy. You can take what you have. Oh, and I've got some more. It looks like, nope. All right. You can take what you have, what you've been working on, or grab a template for something that you need. I have a recommendation if you're looking for something. Searching in the box in the main Canva website, search for Google Classroom header. All right. And if you don't even want to type that out, I'll do you one better. I will put that in the chat. Search Google Classroom header in Canva, and you're going to see these templates. And these are the aspect ratio required for Google Classroom. So we had, for example, this is an actual design that I put together for our esports program. We had a Google Classroom for that, for the students to come in, and we added this image we found. I added this image we found online, and this is an asset from the program. We put that all together, downloaded this, and then we put it in the Google Classroom. So you're not stuck with those default Google Classroom pieces. And if you animate that area, you can actually make a little GIF of that, and you can use the GIF in your Google Classroom as well. The other cool thing about using a Google Classroom header is that it's the same aspect ratio as a Google form. So for example, last year, I had my students grade me once a week as part of an exercise teaching them how assessments work. And I made this little header that I put in my Google form, and Google actually will take the color scheme and match it to what colors are in your header. So I made this little Nacho average teacher, and I put it in my Google form, and that makes it customized to me and makes it prettier, something that more students might be willing to fill out, because it's not those 12 images that they have for every single Google form. So if you are not into working on a logo, I'm going to go back into my logo here, then feel free to grab something like a Google Classroom header or a slideshow or something that you think you might actually use in your classroom. Poster is another great thing you could do. So let's talk about some of the things we can try. Let's change the style up. I'm going into this document. I've got too many tabs open. I apologize. So from here, I'm going to go into this document here, and I'm going to go into design. Yes, Amy, I agree. The forms need to be unique or interesting, just for me even. You can do animated ones too, which is pretty fun. We're going to talk about how to do that in a second too. Go to styles, and I see all these colors. There's sets of colors that work well together. These were designed by a designer. So like a professional graphic designer put these color sets together. If I want, I could click this one, see what happens. Okay, this gave me, some of this stuff went a little crazy, but it's giving me different colors. And if I don't like those colors, I can pick something else. And if I keep clicking, it gives me different combinations of the colors in the palette. And I can just try a bunch of things until I find something that really matches the style that I want to go with. I kind of like that. One of the issues is that sometimes the text will be too large. So in that case, we would just bring it down and in this case as well, 205, way too large. Let's go maybe 40. Yeah, okay. And so there's some tweaking that you have to do. It's not perfect, but if you go through those steps, you can find a different way of looking at the thing that you just made. And there's some level of professional eye to it. Like they've put these together because they work together. So that exists, as well as font sets. So I could change all of my fonts. Ooh, that one's interesting. I think that I could just take this one and make the text a little bit smaller and go into my, okay, from here I could go into my text and go into my effects. There it is. And I'm going to change the curve so it's a little bit wider. There we go. Okay. So now I have a very different logo than what I had just 2 minutes ago, because I decided I wanted a different kind of set, or a different color set, a different font set. All of this stuff is over here, and it automatically applies everything that's here. And you can see there are just dozens of these, and you find something you like, you click it, and it automatically applies. So that's a really cool thing that we have available through Canva and their design font sets and color templates. You can also make your own using a brand kit. So I made a grayscale one. If I wanted to do this, I could make it black and white. The only thing that wouldn't be black and white is my Bitmoji. And Control Z is how you go back if you don't like something. There's also the back button as well. Okay, so I've taken my logo, I made it some colors that I like, changed the fonts that I like. What's next, right? So I deleted animations at the beginning of this presentation because I didn't want to go into that detail yet, but we can add some animations now. Let's add some text animations. I've clicked on my quote that says, let's play with data. And I'm going to go to animate, and I'm going to go down to writing, and I'm going to go to typewriter. If I click that, I have some options here. There's my typewriter options. Writing style. So I can change the speed, make it a little bit slower. I can do it by character or by word. If I click over to word, it's going to go, let's play with data. I like that better. On enter, I can also do it backwards, but I don't like that. So I'm going to keep it that way. Okay. And let's do an animation on my text over here. So I'm going to go into this little game controller, and I'm going to go animate, and computer is mad at me right now. I'm running this on a very old MacBook that has a working microphone. Here, as you scroll over, you can see what each animation does. I like, one of my favorite is Stomp, and Pulse is a great one. Flicker is pretty cool. Wiggle. Breathe. I like Breathe a lot, actually, as well. And Pop. Actually, Pop is probably my favorite one. I'm going to actually add Pop onto all of the text that I have here too. So you can use, oh, come on now. You can use what you have here to, I'm not sure why that particular text is not allowing me to animate, or that one. Okay. I'm going to try this one more time. And if it's just maybe my computer is freaking out, I'm not going to keep doing this if it's not allowing me to do it. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's have this one rise, and this one also can rise. All right, there we go. So now I've got all kinds of cool animations going on, and I can even animate this picture, which I brought in. I brought this in from another app, right? But it can still be animated too. I like that. All right, so now I have this weird little logo, and it's animated. And my download options for this, by the way, are to download it as an MP4 video, so I can make an actual movie file with it, and you can string multiple images as part of a movie in Canva as well. Or I could also download it as a GIF right here. There would be no sound. It's a short clip, and those can be used in Google Slides and in Google Classroom. You can use them as the background for Google Forms, for example, like I was showing you before. Those animated as a GIF, they can actually be entered into the backgrounds of your Google Forms. So that's what that can do. All right. I'm going to skip one step because the template sharing sometimes, depending on what kind of account you have, does not work. And I don't know why. I've actually spoken with Canva about it. It's something they need to fix, and I don't want to confuse anyone. Just a reminder, though, if you have your share permissions set so that anyone with the link can view, if you share this link, you are able to have students make a copy of your document or make a copy of your project in Canva, and they can edit something that you make as well. Yeah, so Jennifer, I got this email from Canva a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was even last week, where they are changing their share permissions, and I don't know why. But last year, for some reason, if you have a Canva for Education account, which I believe you can apply for separate from the Salinas Union High School District account, you can make a template, and the setting looks like this. It's on my screen right now. Is it on my screen? Oh, it's gone. Cool. So like we were just saying, oh wait, no, template link. It's available to me, but then if I go on my Salinas Union High School District template account, then it's not available. So I didn't want to share that because I didn't want to confuse anyone. But students can make a copy of your design and remix it, change it up, or if you have a slideshow template, you want them to use Canva instead of Google Slides, you can just grab that and they can make a copy with that. Okay, so Jennifer, are you using? You're not able to share like a view only link either? Okay, that's very odd. One thing you can do for if you have a concert program and you want it to be available via QR code, you can actually put a QR code using Google Drive. So you can download the project, put it in your drive, and then do a QR code from there. But that's very odd. I don't know why that's disappeared. And if you want, since I'm probably going to be working with our representatives with Canva, if you want to document what's happening there and email that to me, I can follow up with them and see if I hear anything, because I need to figure out this template thing anyway. But let's move ahead. But yeah, email me that information. As an ed tech, that's part of what I do, is trying to figure out why this stuff doesn't work when it's supposed to work. I want to show you something super cool. It's called Bulk Create. It has changed my life. You do need a spreadsheet in order to do this, and I've given you one that you can play with. It says that the file that you've requested does not exist. Well, that's not cool. Let me see if I can find that file and I will relink it. Give me just a second. I worked this morning. Okay. Okay, I think we have to come back around to this one. I'm so sorry. I swear I checked all the links this morning and that one worked. So I don't know why it's not working now. I could show you a video of this process. Yeah. Okay. What does it say here? Not the most dynamic way to work here, but this will approach the gist of it. Basically, I'm going to need to share a tab real quick. All right. So this is the process, and I'm going to just let me from the past talk to you about this. Using the bulk create, you can actually create a bunch of stuff instantly, and I'll let future me, past me, excuse me, take it from there. So the process is still the same. The problem is that for some reason my spreadsheet disappeared. I'm going to look for it while this video is playing. Okay, do we have sound? Wait. Everything is going fantastic. Presentation audio is on. Okay. I think it's going to be easier for me to just find this. I'm so sorry, everyone. All right. I found the tab, and I'm going to link it on my slides real quick so that we can actually do this, because I'm not sure why my videos are not working either. Things are going great. Yeah. Okay, now this link should lead to a legitimate spreadsheet, and you all should be able to access it if you want to do this with me. Sweet. Okay, but you can watch as well, because it could get a little confusing. There's a couple of steps here to make this happen. What you see is on this student demo data is I have the names of my students. I have their homeroom teacher, which is me. And then I have an award that they've won. So there's like 13 different awards. And now I got to print out 13 different achievement like certificates, right? So I'm going to go into Canva and I'm going to look for a certificate. And I'm just going to see what I find. Okay. Ooh, this one's cool. I'm going to customize this template right here. So I'm going to keep the customizing really simple so that we can just focus on what this particular app does. I see, Suzanne, you have your hand up. Is there something I can help you with?
We just can't see your
Oh, I'm
screen.
not sharing. My goodness. I'm so sorry. I need to. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Here we go. Okay. So I found this tab. Pretty cool. I got the student's name right here. I'm going to say this could probably be presented to. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. For chief executive, I'm going to write homeroom teacher. I'm going to get rid of this thing that says chairman. I don't know what that's for, but there we go. And I do need to put some text, and we'll just put a little body text for the area where the actual, part that says my name is going to be. So right here, and then I'm just going to write homeroom teacher. Okay, I think that's big enough. If I want, I can also change the font to whatever. I'll just put that. There we go. Okay, so I've got the name, and let's see this for, and then award 1. I need a blank bit of text for everything that's in my spreadsheet. Okay, that's there. Okay. Now we're all set up and ready to go. The next part of this is that I need to go into where it says apps. And under apps, I'm going to scroll down until I see where it says bulk create. And for me, it's right here. It might be a little lower down for you if you haven't been using these apps, but it's 2 squares and it says bulk create. I'm going to click on that. And I get to add my data, and it's asking me if I want to enter data manually or upload data. So I'm going to choose to upload data, and that's going to open a dialog box to my downloads. In order to do this, I need, sorry, wrong spreadsheet. I need to download a CSV file. So I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet right here, and it's easy to find. File, download, CSV. A CSV is like an unbranded spreadsheet. So it's not Google Sheets, it's not Excel, but both of those can be read. CSV can be read by both programs, and it can be read by Canva. So I'm going to click this, and it is saving in my downloads. I'm going to go and open it up. So you won't see the dialog box pop up for including that because of the way that I'm sharing my screen. But you will see what happens next. Okay, upload data, and I clicked on my CSV, and when I uploaded it, what you're going to see on the side here is that there's columns: timestamp, name, homeroom teacher, and award 1. Now, if you go back to my spreadsheet, you'll notice that the columns are timestamp, name, homeroom teacher, award 1. So you can guess that underneath each of those subjects, you're going to find this information. All right. So now we've got to tie our data to each of these pieces of text. So we don't need a timestamp. We do need the name. So I'm going to click on where the name is. Excuse me. Let me come back to my tab. I'm so sorry. Click on where the name is. And you see how what comes up is connect data. And I'm going to connect data. And the CSV that I've uploaded has these categories right here. So I'm going to click name. And so that's connected. Over here for award 1, I'm going to click connect data. I'm going to click award 1. And you notice that there's a little purple box that says what's connected. And then here for homeroom teacher, I'm going to click connect data. And I'm going to click homeroom teacher. All right. If you're with me so far, I've basically taken each of the columns in my spreadsheet, which is over here, and I've tied them to a particular piece of text on this certificate. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is press continue. And look, it says create pages based on the data you entered. So Mickey Mouse, Elliott, best dressed. Donald Duck, Elliott, most studious. Goofy Dog, Elliott, highest test scores. All of these things that I have right here. Now imagine you have a spreadsheet with 50, 60 different entries on it. Well, you would be able to generate 50, 60 different designs. Let's go. I'm going to click generate and a new tab pops up. And what this tab has in it are all of my certificates. Mickey Mouse. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Note that the text that I put in that spot is all there. All I would need to do now is download a PDF and print it out, or in whatever format that I want to download it in order to get these certificates in the hands of my students. So I find that to be extremely useful. And again, sorry for the not so great transition there when my spreadsheet disappeared. But if you went through this and you feel like you could use something like this, go ahead and you can click the video on slide 15, and it's everything that I just showed you how to do, but in a screencast form, so you can see all the steps. And so if you need to do that, that's there for you. We do also have, like I actually use this to print tickets, raffle tickets for my digital citizenship curriculum. So there was a ticket with the teacher's name on it so that the student could delineate which teacher was giving them these tickets. And it went automatically. It just printed out onto the page. We cut them out, handed them to teachers, and you know, it's hours of work that saved me. So this is a really useful thing that Canva can do. All right, it looks like we do have about an hour left, and I wanted that second hour of today's presentation to be for sandbox time, where you can build something that you'd like to see happen in your classroom. So I will, at this point in time, I want to give you all an opportunity to take a quick break. If you need a break, we'll put 5 minutes on the timer. After that time is back, we'll be in sandbox time. And I can also present to you some of my other projects that I've done if you want to see some of the other things that I've done with it, like the animated Google form. I can show you an example of that. You just let me know what you'd like to do. And I also recommend that you use that time to build a project, a poster, a handout, a syllabus, something that you'll need next week when was it next week? In 2 weeks when we start school. All right. But for now, I'm putting on a 5-minute timer. I will stay here if you have questions or need help with something, but feel free to take this time to go to the bathroom, drink some water, get coffee, get a snack, whatever you need to do. We'll be in this chat. We'll be in this meet when we're back. You don't have to leave. You can just stay on. All right. See you all in 5 minutes. All right. We're about at that 5-minute mark. We're going to have the timer go off in a little bit, and we're going to be in, sorry, that was abrupt. We're going to be in a sandbox time. And here are some thoughts on what you could do with this time. And if you already know what it is that you want to do, feel free to just get to it. But some thoughts are, have an icebreaker for the beginning of the year that you can do a project with your students, or make a template that you want your students to use in a future project, like a unit that you always do, and you'd really like to help the kids up their graphic design game with this project. Make a poster with rules and routines for your classroom. There's a lot of great poster classroom rules, poster templates on Canva. You can also try working with creating a syllabus that looks really nice. You can copy paste text from a Google Doc and put it over into a document in Canva, and it'll have graphics and images and things that you can utilize there. You can even try some of the features of making video in Canva, because you can make video in Canva. I want to point out that I as well have some projects that I've done in the past. I can show off the features of slideshows in Canva, why a lot of the ed techs actually use Canva slideshows instead of Google Slides for a lot of our presentations. How do you take a picture and turn it into a transparent background PNG? I can show you that. Videos, memes. We can also look at some of the AI tools that are available in Canva. which, since they are a closed system AI, which is very different from something like ChatGPT or like Bard or Gemini or any of those kind of open AI systems, you can actually allow students to utilize those within their projects. So if there's anything that you all want to see, let me know. And you may also work independently at this time. We'll be done at 3:15. Okay, James wants to see videos. I will gladly show off a video that I made in Canva. It's actually, you can make videos as easily as you can make a Google slideshow or a Canva slideshow. So I'm gonna show you that off in a minute. One other thing I wanna point out, just a housekeeping thing, I will be asking for your feedback at the end of this time. I think that HR is checking those timestamps. So you want to fill this feedback form out at the end of our time, which is going to be at 3:15. I'll put it in the chat and remind you, but if you forget, it's going to be just there. At this point, I am going to stop the recording so that we don't have a 2-hour long video of this presentation.